All right, here we go. Lesson 8, problem set. We're on page 1.c.20. I know that's kind of hard to see. Hopefully you can see that. 1.c.20 and then 1.c.21 on the backside. All right, so today we're going to do some more multiplication. All right, so here we go. Once again, your number 1 looks just a little bit different than mine, but for the most part, it's the same. All right, whatever's missing on yours, I will fill in on my screen so you guys have it. So the first one, number 1, that's what's missing on my screen. Number 1 says count by threes 5 times. Let's do that. Count by threes 5 times. So my video is a little shorter today. I'm going to try to go a little quicker. If you need to pause me at any time, feel free. All right. Count by, it says count by threes 5 times. All right. So 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. All right. Draw an array that shows 5 rows of 3. All right. So your letter B says draw an array that matches your count by. So we're going to draw 5 rows of 3. All right. So 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. All right, so your array should look similar to mine, where you have 5 rows of 3. Okay, so just to check me, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rows. All right, 5 rows. Let's go ahead over here to number 2. Number 2, once again, they don't give us that first part like you have. Your first part says count by 5s 3 times. Let's do that. So we have 5, 10, 15. So we counted by 5s 3 times. All right, so they want us to write an array. So for letter B, it says draw an array that matches your count by. So this time we're going to do 3 rows of 5. All right, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so each row has 5 in it. And we have 3 rows. Okay. Number 3 says, use your arrays from problems 1 and 2 to fill in the blanks below. Use the commutative property to make the equation true. All right. So I got to erase mine just so I can scroll. All right. So we're going to write the commutative property to show our 2 multiplication problems to make it equal. Okay. So in both of them, we use 3s and 5s. All right. So on this one, we had, oops, forgot to do this. All right, so in this one, we did 3s 5 times. All right, so we had 5 rows, counted by 3s. All right, so the rows always come first. So we had 5 rows of 3, and then the other one, we had 3 rows of 5. So 3, 5. If you do both of those multiplication problems, you get the same answer. Okay, let's do the next one. Write a multiplication sentence for each expression. All right, let's do that. You might skip count to find the totals. So the first one's done for us, letter A. 2 3s, so 2 times 3, that's 2 3s, right? That equals 6. How about 3 2s? What does that equal? If we count by 2s 3 times, let's try to figure it out. 2s 3 times, 2, 4, 6. Look at that. Same answer. We use the same numbers, we just flip them, right? 2 times 3 equals 3 times 2. Let's do the next one. 3 4s. So 3 times 4. So if we count by 4 3 times, 4, 8, 12. Let's jump over to this next one, letter D. What is 4 3 times? That would be 4 times 3. That's telling us to count by threes 4 times. 3, 6, 9, 12. Once again, same answers, right? Same answers for those. Let's do the next two together. 3 sevens. 3 times 7 equals, that's 7 3 times. So if you know how to skip count by sevens, you just do 7 plus 7 equals 14. One more 7 equals 21. What about 7 threes? 7 times 3. If you guys are kind of catching on to this without even doing the math, you kind of already know what that is, right? Because we already figured out 3 times 7 equals 21. Now we just flip it. It has to have the same answer. So 7 times 3 also equals 21. See if you can do the last three on your own. I'll set up the math equations for you, and then you can solve them. So 3 nines means 3 times 9. 9 threes would be 9 times 3. And then 10 threes, I'm sorry. 10 threes. See if you can do those on your own, okay? This one you're going to count by 9 3 times. This one you're going to count by 3 9 times. These two answers should be the same. And then this one you're going to count by 3 10 times. But remember, I'll give you a little hint on this one. Remember, instead of counting by 3 10 times, we can flip this and make it easier on ourselves, right? Meaning we can count by 10 3 times. Counting by tens is a lot easier than counting by threes, right? So if we just flip it and we count by tens 3 times, I think you'll have an easier time. All right, go ahead and solve those on your own. We're going to move on. Number 5 here. Number 5 says, find the unknowns that make the equations true. Let's do that. All right. Letter A says 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3. Oh, I missed the part. Then it says, then draw a line to match the related facts. So let's see. What is 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3? Well, let's figure it out. 3 plus 3 equals 6, 9, 12, 15. Okay. 3 times 9 over here for letter B. What is 3 times 9? Well, that means we have to count by 9 3 times. So 9 plus 9 I know equals 18. One more 9 equals 27. Letter C, what is 7 threes plus 1 3? 7 threes plus 1 3. That's tricky. 7 threes, meaning we're going to count by 3 7 times. So 3 7 times would be 7 times 3. So 7 times 3, that would be counting by 3 7 times. Well, we could also flip it and make it easier for ourselves and count by 7 3 times. So 7 plus 7 equals 14. One more would be 21. And then it wants us to do plus one more 3. So 21 plus 3 equals 24. All right, let's come over here to the top. 3 times 8, that means we're going to count by 8 3 times. All right, so 8 plus 8 equals 16. 16 plus 8 equals 24. All right, this time they flipped the line on the other side, but it doesn't really matter because over here, it's still going to be 5 times 3, and we're just going to write our answer on the other side. So 5 times 3 means we count by 3 5 times, or if it makes it easier for you, flip it and count by 5 3 times. Let's go ahead and do that. Counting by 5 3 times would be 5, 10, 15. And then the last one, 20. This one's, they really try to trick you, but we're not going to get tricked that easy. They gave us the answer. So here's the answer. 27 is the answer. And then they said 27 equals 9 times blank. So we got to figure out 9 times blank equals 27. So let's count by 9s until we get to 27. All right. So 9 plus 9 equals 18. So we're not there yet. And let's do one more 9. 18 plus 9 equals 27. So we just counted by 9s 3 times. So this math equation should be 9 times 3. Remember, they wanted us to draw some lines to match them, right? So how do these connect? Well, 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3 equals 15 is the same thing as 5 times 3 equals 15. 3 times 9 equals 27 is the same thing as 27 equals 9 times 3. They just wrote it in a different order. And then 7 threes plus one more 3 equals 24 is really the same thing as 3 times 8. All right, because really we could have done it differently over here. I could have written, whoops, I just erased the whole thing. Darn it. Oh, I can go back. Boom. Oh, I did it again. I could have written it a different way. I could have said 7 threes plus 1 3. That's really just like doing 8 times 3 equals, counting by threes 8 times, or 8 3 times equals 24. That's the same thing they gave us up here, right? So, boom. All right, hopefully this is getting a little bit easier for you. Here we go, flipping over the page. We're on number 6 now. Flip the page to the back side. Number 6. Number 6 says, Isaac picks 3 tangerines from his tree every day for 7 days. Use circles to draw an array that represents the tangerines Isaac picks. All right, so every day he picks 3. All right, so we know in each group should be 3. And he does that for 7 days. So that tells us we're going to have 7 groups. Okay, they told us to do circles. So they want us to do an array. So let's do that. So we know we needed to have 7 groups because there's 7 days. And in each group, we need to have 3. So let's do that. So 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. I wrote mine a little bit too big so you could see it. All right, so maybe you can stack yours a little bit better. I ran out of room, so maybe do yours a little bit smaller. But what this shows is, here, I'll do a little line in between so you know we're talking about different ones. All right, so we're talking about 1 row, 2 rows, 3 rows, 4 rows, 5 rows, 6 rows, 7 rows. We have 7 days, and in each day he picks 3 tangerines. Okay? Letter B. Letter B says, how many tangerines does Isaac pick in 7 days? Write and solve a multiplication sentence to find the total. All right, let's do that. So remember, normally when we write multiplication sentences, the number of groups comes first. So that would be 7, because that's the number of days. We're talking about number of groups or rows. And then how many does he pick each day? Well, they told us he does 3, right? All right, so here's a multiplication sentence equation. You can either do this, you can count by 3 7 times, or whichever is easy for you, you can count by 7 3 times because it's the same answer, right? Let's go ahead and flip it around and do 7 3 times because I prefer to count by bigger numbers less times. So 7 plus 7 equals 14, and then 14 plus 7 more equals 21. All right, so he picked 21 apples. So let's go ahead and scroll and look at the next one. Isaac decides to pick 3 tangerines every day for 3 more days. Draw X's to show the new tangerines on the array in part A. So basically all he's doing is he's gonna instead of just doing 7 days, now he's gonna do it for 3 more days. So a total of 10. So that would give us 10 rows of 3. So I'll go ahead and let you do that on your own. Just draw some more X's up on your array for the first part. Write and solve a multiplication sentence to find the total number of tangerines Isaac picked. So remember, we started with him picking tangerines for 7 days. Now he's doing it for 10 days because he did it for 3 more days. So for letter D, we're going to start with the number 10 because he's going to do this for 10 days total. And usually when you do multiplication sentences, they want you to write the number of groups, number of days, number of rows, whatever we're talking about. We want that number first. So 10. All right. And each day, he's still just picking 3 tangerines. Okay. So if we count by 3 10 times, that's kind of hard because you got to go 3, 6, 9, 12. How about we flip it and do it the other way? Let's count by 10 3 times. I think everybody can do that, right? 10, 20, 30. So if Isaac picked 3 more tangerines, 3 more additional days, he would have picked 30 tangerines. All right, you guys are doing a great job. We're almost done. All right, let's go ahead and knock this out so we can be done with it. And you guys can start working on your homework. All right, last one. Sarah buys bottles of soap. I'm going to scoot this up a little bit so you guys can see. Sarah buys bottles of soap. Each bottle costs $2. All right, so she's buying some soap. Each one costs $2. Letter A, how much money does Sarah spend if she buys 3 bottles of soap? All right, let's find out. So this one, we're talking about 3 bottles. So that would be like 3 groups, 3 rows. We're talking about 3 bottles of soap. So 3 comes first. All right, so 3 times what? Well, each bottle costs $2. So that means we need to count by 2s 3 times. So if you go to the store and your mom buys, let's say your mom buys 3 candy bars and each candy bar costs $2. That's like this. She's going to say, how much is this going to cost? Well, you can figure it out for next time you go to the store. So each bottle of soap costs $2. She bought 3 bottles of soap. Let's count by 2 3 times. 2, 4, 6. All right. Letter B, how much money does Sarah spend if she buys 6 bottles of soap? All right, it's the same exact thing we did, but instead of the 3, now she's buying 6 bottles. So let's do 6 here. The bottles of soap still cost only $2. All right, so let's do the 2 here. This time they want us to count by 2s 6 times. So 2, well, how about we flip it, make it a little easier. Instead of counting by 2 6 times, why don't we this time go ahead and count by 6 2 times, all right? So 6 plus 6 equals 12. All right, so if Sarah buys 6 bottles, it'd be $12. She only buys 3 bottles, it'd be 6. So it kind of depends on how much money she brought that day, right? All right, good job. So let's go ahead and start on your homework. All right, so hopefully you guys have been doing all these homework assignments, because when we get to come back to school, I'm going to check your notebooks. We're on, if you can see it, no, it's super dark. It's 1.C.23 and 24. That is your homework assignment today. Make sure it says lesson 6 up at the top. Great job today, guys. I will talk to you all later. You guys have a good rest of the day. Bye.